Necessary.
Danger.
What quest do you have?
Challenge accepted.
Side.
Side quest.
Challenge accepted.
Welcome to Side Quest, Secret Society of Strangers podcast. I'm Lee, here with Josh and Jen.
What up?
How you guys doing?
Good. How about you guys?
Good.
Oh, I'm good, hanging in there. Busy days these days. We got a lot going on with the podcast, life. So
Yeah.
the future of the world is in question.
There's so much going on.
No, but today we're excited because we'll be talking about the recent and constant updates to the UAP saga. If you don't know, Wednesday of this week, the 13th of November, there will be a congressional hearing, and it's actually probably, or is the most significant hearing we've had on UAP in at least 50 years. So we're excited, or I'm excited.
I'm
Hope
super
you are.
hyped.
I'm definitely excited.
Before we get to that, of course, if you guys are enjoying what we are doing and you guys like what you hear and want to hear more of it, you know what you got to do. Subscribe. We just checked. We're eking so slow, crawling like a half-dead zombie to the 100 mark. So let's do it. All right.
We're just 2 more away from the 100 mark.
Yeah, we'll do it. We got
Yep.
it. It's in the bag.
Oh,
Um, Before we get into the UFO stuff, I had some stories I wanted to talk about if we did side quest when we were supposed to do side quest like a week and a half ago. I'll go through them quick because there's a lot to talk about.
Isn't that just the
UAP.
joy of a side quest, though? Like, you can just do it whenever.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
it comes up. Some of the stuff I like to keep like current,
That's fair.
so like it just moves on. Some of the stuff I let it go, but I got 2 little things. Everyone that has listened to a side quest knows I like to give you little weird real estate updates and listings. So I got a new one. This one is a former missile silo in Kansas.
Ooh.
It's boasting 15,000 square feet of zombie-proof castle. It has a 1,200-foot landing strip, so you can take your private jet there. It's on 10 acres, fully fenced perimeter, and that's going for $749,000.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
How far down in the ground is this
Yeah.
silo bunker?
Let's see. I don't think it says how deep. I wonder. It says it's safe from all apocalypses. So
So it's like
I'm
a fallout
assuming
shelter.
it's nuclear safe. Like it was probably built. Oh, it's like I'll post pictures on the Instagram. I'm gonna make a note of that because it's got full-fledged rooms.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
it's furnished and it's pretty nice. So I'll have to post that on the IG. All right, we'll get that
Wow.
one out of the way. Next,
I would live in a silo. That would be sick.
yeah, totally.
Not for
Yeah.
you?
I don't think so.
The
Not in a
further,
zombie apocalypse.
the
Oh,
further
yeah, no.
away I am and the harder I am to get to, the happier I am.
Oh, yeah.
Put me in 23 acres with 10 acres of that completely fenced in with me underground. I'll be there every day.
I don't know.
It's not for everybody.
What kind of fence is this?
Can you see the fence in these pictures?
'Cause
Yeah, it's just like a chain link. Just imagine you're like 6-foot chain link
that's
fence.
not good enough.
That's not going to stop zombies.
No, but they gotta get you to. You're like underground. Like this thing is flat. Like you,
Yeah,
there's like a barn and then cement top, and then
that
a
feels
whole.
claustrophobic.
All right. When I post on Instagram, I'll show you guys the pictures. You'll be able to see. I'm
I think I just
trying to
want
sell
to
this
be
thing. Apparently, and now I'm
in
a
a
realtor.
zombie.
So,
You're the spooky realtor.
it's in Kansas. I don't know if anybody actually wants to live in Kansas. So
I sure as
that's
fuck don't.
that's the biggest problem for me is Kansas. All right. So next, 40 monkeys have escaped a research facility in South Carolina.
Fuck yeah. Rise of the Planet of the
Mhm.
Apes. Here we come.
Yeah. So it's everywhere on the news. I'm sure if anyone has social media, you've scrolled across it. And it's kind of just funny because if you're watching it or you look it up, they have like thermal images from above on like drones and helicopters, and there's just these hot spots of like this group of monkeys moving all over the place.
Just reminds me of Jumanji when the monkeys got out.
Yeah, that's what it's like. And they're saying like residents should stay away, don't like try to feed the monkeys and like be friends
They
with
will
them.
rip your face off.
Yeah. They look like they're little monkeys. I don't know if they're
Little monkey can still rip your face
like
off, man.
Reese's monkeys. No,
Yeah.
they'll be ferocious. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I'm much more scared of like one chimpanzee
Oh yeah.
than like one like little monkey.
Have you seen a picture of like a hairless chimpanzee and it's just
Yeah.
fucking stacked? You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, that will just
That and
my
the
arms out.
kangaroos, the male
Yeah,
kangaroos.
kangaroos.
when
Yeah.
they get their like the hormones on their neck. They get like that red stuff, and they just look
Ugh.
like Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger from '85. It's insane.
I
All
love
right,
watching kangaroos fight each other. It's fucking great.
they are just a
Yeah.
crazy set
Can
of
you
like.
imagine just getting fucking kicked in the
weapons.
jaw?
No.
Are there any other creatures that like?
There's a shrimp that like
The
it'll like
mantis
slap
shrimp.
its tail and like it just shatters bones.
I'm just trying to think
What?
like. Yeah, the
it does that
mantis
even
shrimp.
on land.
Supersonic. It does it so fast.
Oh.
It does it actually so hard that it boils the immediate water around it when it does it. Like that's how fast it goes.
Jeez.
Crazy.
What was I saying? I don't remember. We're talking about
Oh.
monkeys. Oh, kangaroos. I was trying to think of a kangaroo, like another animal that does stuff as cool as the kangaroo. Like the kangaroo, like stands on his tail and can kick you,
Mhm.
and like at the
Mhm.
same time, like hold your head like an MMA fighter and like
Yeah.
Drop.
bring you to its feet.
Yeah.
Like
Kangaroos have thumbs. That's right.
I know. like
They're just more spicy raccoons.
they're fucking they're scary when they're like standing on their two legs and they're
Mhm.
like
Oh,
they're as
man.
tall as me. I'm good.
I'm good.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, now that we're good with the animals on this planet, let's fuck with the animals on another planet. So, like I said, November 13th, this Wednesday, big deal, congressional hearing. Do you guys want to do a quick recap from where we were to where we are?
Yeah. Because we haven't had a
Yeah.
hearing since the Grush thing, right?
Okay.
Like Grush
Yep.
and Fravor.
So I'm going to start at the beginning. So 2017, our initial report from the New York Times comes out. That's the report that had the videos, the Tic Tac, the Go Fast, and the gimbal. That set this whole thing off, got Congress all stirred up. Fast forward 2020, the Department of Defense officially establishes the UAP task force, formalizing efforts to evaluate the UAP encounters and access potential threats. So that marked like the shift in the government facing to the public that, okay, we're going to at least acknowledge UAP. 2021, the U.S. Office of the Director of National Intelligence released a preliminary report to Congress summarizing UAP data collection from 2004 to 2021. This report analyzed 144 encounters and concluded that most of the incidents could not be explained, with only one case conclusively being identified as a balloon. 2022, Congress held its first public hearing in over 50 years, featuring Pentagon officials who presented updated information on UAP encounters, including new unexplained incidents involving military personnel. That's when we meet David Fravor and Grush. They're like key players right now with what's going on. Or that's when we hear of them, actually. In 2023 is the whistleblower meeting and official like Congress thing where they actually are now being asked questions by members of Congress. That's when we really find out like how significant and how often these UAP are coming in contact with our military personnel, because it was really focused on the Navy and the stuff that they were recording in their records. That
Yeah,
brings
we were
us,
seeing that shit like every day they were out there pretty much.
yep. So like the Nimitz has like hundreds and hundreds of reports. But the ones that Fravor was talking about, which is Fravor is the Tic Tac video. Most people have seen that. It's the little wiggly Tic Tac. But what's so crazy about that is that, first of all, obviously he's in an American Navy fighter jet. So you're talking flare, you're talking top of the line equipment that's picking this thing up. And we get to hear the audio in that congressional hearing of him talking to his wingmates, and they're just in awe of like, you know, it's just two dudes talking. It's like, oh my God, you see that? Like, I think most people,
because this thing was like going against the wind at like so many knots, and that's like apparently physically impossible for any craft that we have nowadays.
Right.
And it dropped from like a really high altitude to like basically right above, like a couple of feet above the water in just like no time.
and then just
And it
sat
was-
there for an
Yeah.
extended period of time.
And then what like really got these guys going was like this Tic Tac just showed up at like this thing that they called, I think it was called a cat point or whatever. And that's basically like, nobody knows that except for the people doing the training exercise, because that's where you end up. And this thing just like showed up there.
So yeah, that's when we really are now unpacking like the abilities of these craft and like how much more superior they are, and how they aren't just balloons or swamp gas. Another comment they make in that, and when they're talking about, I think it's either the Go Fast or the Tic Tac, the pilots talk about their turning radius, and at the speeds that they're going, how long some of their turns take, and these things are doing it in like almost hairpin turns,
Like literal 90-degree angles.
Yeah.
Like, and if you were doing that in a real situation, like the person or whatever would inside the vehicle would explode from all the G-force.
Yeah, you just get sucked through the bottom of the plane and all right, so we're in 2023 again. Earlier in the year, in February, there was a report published in The Hill by Tim Gallaudet, who's kind of a newer player to this whole thing, but is going to be a big deal, believe me. So his op-ed, basically to sum it up, is urging the government and scientific communities to work together, and he highlights especially oceanic military and scientists should be working together. He highlights the Galileo project, which me and Josh have talked about on another side quest. So that's the project where they were finding these spheres at the bottom of the ocean, and they're made out of all kinds of materials, but the composition of the materials is what's unique, because the levels of the materials that are there are not common here or found nowhere else. So,
and he's that rear admiral guy, right? He's going to be testifying on the 13th too.
Yep, that's what I was saying. He's going to be a big deal. So Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet, he's got a PhD. He's writing papers. He highlights, like I said, the Galileo project, which is by a Harvard professor that might sound familiar to some people, Avi Loeb. So Avi Loeb, like I said, he's been out in the ocean doing this project where he's sampling all these things. His philosophy is very heavy, leaning towards that these things are in the water and on land. So we get our USOs. And that's almost where we are right now as far as like official stuff. There was one more report that is going to be really crucial. We don't really know anything about it now. We'll know Wednesday. But a journalist named Michael Schellenberger published an article titled "The Pentagon is illegally hiding secret UFO program from Congress, sources allege.
Hmm.
That program, if you're up on this and you're on the Reddits and the Twitters, is called the Immaculate Constellation.
Yeah, that's like the big secret program that everybody's been.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to speculate about mostly today. That's what the congressional hearing, that's what everyone's waiting to hear. So essentially, if you don't know what it is, it's allegedly a program that has been locked away inside the government, away from Congress. It apparently consists of the capability to detect and quarantine UAP and alien reproduction vehicle incidents before they're observed or can be taken in by any other military intelligence. So it all gets swallowed up into this database before anyone else would even hear about it. I think some of the highlights to this database is that so there's a whistleblower who told this, Michael Schellenberger. The whistleblower apparently is extremely credible. He has gone to Congress and Schellenberger and a few other trusted journalists. I should note that those journalists, most of them have come out to say that they have dead man switches. If you don't know what a dead man switch is, it's essentially a plan to out information upon your unsuspected death.
Okay.
So
it's like, in the event of my death, this file goes out to everybody. Type
Right.
thing.
Yeah. So that's why if you've been watching any of the weaponized episodes with Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, they're pretty adamant and they're pretty sure that Wednesday something's going to come out no matter what. Like, these guys have a plan, basically, like if they're not going to out it on Wednesday, they have like another plan on getting it out there in a not so formal way.
Right.
Like I said, some of these things within the Immaculate Constellation include like high definition videos and pictures of UAP, apparently also non-human biologics. It's all recorded on like high quality sensors and military data. It's got eyewitness reports from people who are in the military who are deliberately trying to come back with a report on UAP, and it has incidental reports in it. So it's got reports of like we were talking about, like the Nimitz, they're out on training and they're just being tracked by something.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most significant stories that they've kind of been circulating is there was an F-22, again, like top of the top jets in the world, doing its maneuvers, and multiple spherical UAPs pop up around this thing. And the pilot describes maneuvering, and instead of these things reacting to its maneuver, it was like they were fixed. So imagine if you had two magnets and you move one magnet, like it's not really following, they're moving at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like predictive moving.
Tandem.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And like was somehow able to lock to him. So you imagine, you're doing whatever, 900 miles an hour. What do jets do? And you're making turns, and this thing is not even blurring in your vision. It's just
It's just with you consistently. Yeah.
The capabilities of this stuff is what I'm really interested in. One of the things I'm really interested in.
Now, do you think these are manned or unmanned, like kind of like drones and
good
stuff like
question.
that?
So what is, again, this is all through like the cables and what whistleblowers have allegedly said.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mix. These things that we're witnessing are a mix of things. So there are unmanned, unknown, unidentified UAP. Like, that's redundant, but like things that don't look like there could be a being inside. There are confirmed manned ships, but then there's also back engineered, human made UAP.
Oh yeah, the triangle.
Yeah, which is actually, I think, in this hearing, we're going to hear a lot more about, because that's a big part of this program. The Immaculate Constellation is the back engineering. And from what is being leaked early, the back engineering consists of ships that are able to use anti-gravity technology.
Yeah, that would corroborate, like, because that thing's been seen around for years.
Mm-hmm.
The black triangle with like the big pulsating orb in the middle.
Yeah.
And everybody's just like, oh yeah, no, it would be like huge concentrated amounts of plasma and this, that, and the other. And there's patents on it already out there.
They are definitely hiding something now, like beyond any like little secrets or like, oh, there's little green men. Like, they are involved. They have their hands in the mix. They are moving these ships from base to base. I think, from what I could understand, there's some kind of rotation to this equipment and stuff. Like, they don't keep it in one place too long.
Yeah, I mean, that would make the most sense. Like, if you want something to be like super, super secret for a very long time, you just move it around and nobody knows where it's at except for a handful of people.
Mm-hmm. So Wednesday, we're really hoping to hear, like we were just saying, the technology. We want to hear how much the government's involved. We want to be assured that there's going to be transparency and security for whistleblowers. We want a clear public database for UAP that's accessible to everyone. And
I want to see those 4K pictures from satellites and shit that Lou said that's out there.
Yep.
And then all the stuff from NASA that they scrubbed.
There was, oh man, I didn't write it down. There was something from NASA.
Oh, I think like someone, don't quote me on it, but I think one of the people that's testifying was like a former NASA like head or something like that, or an employee.
Yeah. Again, there's a lot of rumors. I'm really trying to stay away from, like, we're going to talk. We'll have some conjecture, but as far as like laying this down, these are the facts that have come out of like the closest to the sources people's mouths.
How was the Immaculate Constellation? How was that discovered that existed?
So Michael Schellenberger was approached by a whistleblower. The whistleblower is still unidentified. We're hoping to maybe find out the identity Wednesday. I don't know if we will. It depends on how much they release. We have no idea what they're going to release of this or what they're going to say. Right now, the DOD is like, this doesn't exist.
Yeah. I mean, they say that about everything.
Yeah.
It does not exist.
So we don't know if he was part of the program or if he just has some knowledge somehow.
No. And to tell you the truth, Schellenberger is extremely tight-lipped. Like, he went out of his way to say he is not going to give anything that alludes to position, job title, sex, anything. Like, he's like, nope, I'm not saying anything. But he reassures us that it's credible and that they have been in contact with Congress, and Congress does take them as a credible source.
I'm interested to see if Lou's going to have any new information, because he's testifying too.
Is he? I couldn't get a full list of like actual people that were definitely testifying. All I got was that Rear Admiral Gallaudet is definitely going to testify. So, I mean, I want to see Lou. I want to see Grush again. I would love to see Craver. Yeah, I don't know. He's been quiet, but again, these people are being threatened. Like,
I was going to say, behind the scenes, what they're, especially after testifying,
and
had to
someone
intensify.
Like Grush, I would think, like, you did your stuff. Like, he can't say more. He's doing it by the book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's trying not to break the law or commit treason or anything. So at a certain point, what else are you going to ask him? And like, how is he going to answer you?
Right, because I feel like he's already answered it 600 different ways.
He's probably like, I'm just done with interviews and stuff until I can talk to someone that
I can want to know what happened to his op-ed. Like, what happened with that?
I don't know. I think that got
nixed.
I think someone said that wasn't okay with the higher ups.
Mm.
The main thing, the DoD, the concern, the government is national security.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we talk about what that looks like. Some of it's valid. I understand. Obviously, I'm a U.S. citizen. I don't want our secrets or our capabilities being leaked to foreign adversaries.
Yeah.
The national security that I think is bullshit is the national security that they try to put in that the public can't handle it and there'll be a complete collapse in society and whatever.
Which I don't think is the case at all.
I don't think so unless it's the thing we've talked about, it being like interdimensional.
Oh, yeah.
I think, and forgive me, listeners, forgive me, Americans in general. I am only going to comment on America because I'm American, and I've read the stats on this. This is hard data. The average American reading literacy is just above a 5th to 6th grader. So if you're talking like interdimensional things and beings that are technically here with me now, I don't know how much that's going to be explainable to the masses.
Right.
Break it down Barney style.
Yeah, so I could understand them being a little bit like, hey, we've purposely dumbed these people down for the last like 6 decades. We can't like throw quantum science at them.
Right.
They barely understand algebra.
Hardly
Sure.
do their taxes.
Well, yeah, I do my taxes, but I fucking hate them. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's a dumb. And if there's any government shills listening to me right now, taxes are dumb. Just do it for me. Tell me how much I fucking owe. And then
Like you're going to tell me in the end anyway if I'm wrong or
make
what.
it feel stupid.
So
like it's
clearly
my
you had a number.
Oh, it's so dumb. Sorry, tangent. But that is. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like, I mean, the denial thing, I mean, no matter what you're talking about, that never works. I mean, and if it is sort of a, like, you can't handle the truth kind of, moment, I can promise you the more you do that, the more extreme my mind and other people's minds are going as to why is this so important to hide them.
That's a good point.
If
I think it was
there
actually
are other,
I think Fravor actually said something just like that. Like if you leave the void, the public will fill it in with all kinds of stuff.
Well, think about it. If they have if they've reverse engineered some of this shit and they have like anti-grav tech and stuff like that, then that means that like all your big oil and gas companies are going to be out of fucking business.
That's the other side of it. Is it national security or the banking system and the finances that they care about?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. But Jen, what you were saying with the hiding it as a secret. So that for people who are not, super invested and have spent the last like 12 years just reading Reddit on alien stories. Apparently, the reason why that stigma is in the government and the military is like dates back to like Eisenhower and like that whole presidency and some kind of either deal they made with extraterrestrials or just a rigid set of rules to deal with these UAP that like snowballed. Like, like you were saying, like how long can you just flat out say something that is continually popping up is not there? And, we hear it all the time. Even if you're not familiar with UAP, you've heard of Area 51 has changed its official story 3 times in my lifetime. It happened in the 40s. Like, that's crazy.
But it's almost like if that's the case, then they kind of need to go back to the table and renegotiate because times have majorly changed. I mean, they used to be able to hide that FDR was disabled and control the media and things like that. We're not at that point anymore, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah.
People have their telescopes that are, crazy, and they've got their 4K and cameras and all this stuff are available to your everyday citizen. And
You
now
have one with you
there's
all the
too
time.
much.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's no hiding anymore, and it just it's an embarrassment at this point for them to still in 2024 say, well, our stance is it doesn't exist.
Well, yeah,
just
and then there was
deny it.
recently in the past couple of weeks, there's been like UAP just like hanging around. I can't remember the airbase, but there was just an airbase here in the States.
Mhm.
And like even the daily Pentagon briefing on the news was like, we don't know what this is. We don't know whose technology this is. We don't know why it's doing this. We're trying to figure it out, and they still can't figure it out.
That thing is weird because if you listen to the press conferences, the press is straight up like, we are America. Why haven't we shot it yet?
Yeah.
And she's like, we want to be sure that
she's like looking down at her
Like,
at
like,
the podium.
what?
Like the answer is going to appear.
Like, we shoot shadows, man. Like, how are you not taking this thing out of the air? And if
And
this
it's
is
over your
happening,
secret, it's all over like your sensitive areas on your base and stuff like that. You would shoot that down. That is closed airspace.
And if it's been happening for as long as we think it's been happening, there's no way that they don't have a method or a special weapon to take it out. If it's especially if it's just sitting there.
Oh, well, they were talking about they have this way to do it with like radar dishes and shit like that. I guess it's part of the Immaculate Constellation stuff is like they've developed a way to like take UFOs down, and that's probably that's part of the reason why the Roswell crash happened.
Yeah, there's who was it? I think it was Elizondo. Elizondo. Yeah, he explains like how the gravity well works and how if you disrupt that well, like you can crash a ship without touching it. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's above my head science, but
yeah, a lot of it is.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of it is because we only have bits and pieces.
Right.
I think if they told us straight up, I think we'd all be able to be like, oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. New physics. Duh.
Right.
Well, I'm imagining if, again, I use the terms that we have to use, these other beings are that more advanced than us. And we're still learning physics and finding out like the rules that we have aren't fixed. Like these beings may have that Rosetta Stone to just be like, guys, like I did the homework, just slide us the paper and just be like, and we're like, oh, okay, so dark matter is this, and that's why. Like, I really feel like there's going to be one piece of information in like quantum physics and physics that when we figure it out, like unlocks everything, and everything like falls into place.
Well, it's because somebody forgot to carry the two. It's always you got to carry the two.
Gotta remember those numbers, man, up top. They don't even do it that way anymore.
And then did you see that there was like new images or new news on like the jellyfish UAP?
I saw some images of the jellyfish UAP.
Yeah, it's a lot clearer.
Looking like a little man with a lot of tentacles.
Yeah, it's like there's like somebody inside of it, and then it's just like a little tentacle suit.
You know who he looks like?
Huh.
What's the movie? It's a book too.
War of the Worlds?
No. Oh my God, it just went out of my head. He has the towel of information, your towel of safety, and the little robot is Alan,
Timmy and the talking toaster?
No.
Oh.
No, it's the galaxy universe. What's the? Oh my God! All right.
You had me at blanket and little kid. It was like boom, talking toaster. I got this.
How am I? Like I could just like turn around and probably find it on the shelf.
I can't wait for this Discord message, and it's just gonna be insert whatever this is.
I'm so mad. Whatever. Either way, that's what it looks like. It looks like that thing from the movie that I can't remember the name of. That's also a book.
Great.
There's someone yelling right now. Someone knows what I'm talking about.
Instead of yelling at your screen, comment down below what the fuck
do that. Comment. Let me know.
But also, if you want to yell at your screen, yell at your screen.
Oh,
But yeah,
quick question.
jellyfish UAP just looks so much clearer now, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just looks like there's somebody inside piloting it.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe.
There we go.
Okay.
I just had to
It's
stop
Hal.
thinking. Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Okay, I can rest easy. Oh. What were you going to ask a question, Jen?
How long has that program been around?
It's a good question. I don't know if we
Don't
have a
know.
solid answer for that.
Don't know
I'm
yet.
sure we'll
Okay.
have something else on the 13th.
Yeah.
I think again,
Because I think that's
What-
like this is the program.
yeah, and what I was going to say is I think what we've learned from backtracking stuff, because we obviously haven't had any luck going forward with like them forfeiting information to us, is that these programs just are constantly changing. So
Mhm.
like Blue Book becomes Blue Beam, becomes like, not that that was the progression of those two things, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying like they just change the
Blue
name
Apron.
when someone feels the heat or they feel like they need to
Okay.
move things. So this could be a program that was named something else originally.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
what do you think? Like toilet paper for the Pentagon costs $3 billion? Come on now.
Ah.
Can you I would love
Screw
to
is
be
$100,000. Come on,
I would love to be like
a
the
contractor and make a bunch of money on.
yeah,
somebody
like the
else's dime.
person
Yeah,
that works
yeah.
at like 3M that is just like,
Oh.
oh, these people need like Post-its. $44,000, please. Here's 10
And
Post-its.
it's just a 5-pack of
Yeah.
Post-its.
Like it must, like I guarantee they just have like numbers on a wall. And they just like, oh, I need more reams of paper. Yeah, 1 million.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because nobody reads it. Somebody just in an office signs off on it.
And I'll tell you, so my dad was an accountant for New York State for a long time. So did a lot of the stuff for the courts and all that stuff. Like that behavior, that like lump it in, trickle down bullshit
Mhm.
goes down to the smallest municipalities. Like
Mhm.
these court systems with like one clerk, one judge, and like a bailiff are like shaving money off the top, like taking petty cash. Like it's insane. Like the stuff my dad would tell me, he'd be like, oh, so one story, this one stands out because I was always like, how'd they think they were going to get away with this? There's a judge who has a son, an adult son, who apparently is employed at the district.
Mm.
So no one at the district knows his son. So like when they come to do the audit, they
Oh
go
my
and they
God.
want to interview the son,
son.
and they ask him questions. Like, so of course, like he shows up that day, so they ask him all these questions about the business, and he know about like the court system, and they're like, what goes? Like he doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing. He doesn't know like his schedule. He knows nothing, but he's getting paid like
Holy crap.
$150,000, $200,000 a year
Yeah.
for not showing up to work.
Wow.
Because his dad's taking the money.
Yeah, it's corrupt all the
But
way
yeah,
down.
no, think about that on like federal government scale. Like,
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like they're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it, and like he's getting 200,000, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we spent 44,000 on paper." Meanwhile, like some guy's got like a nice big mahogany desk. And he's like, "Yeah, just got this bad boy for free from the taxpayers."
only killed 3 people in the Amazon to get it here.
Yeah, I only had to
Yeah.
commission 44 deaths.
I mean, it's the truth because I worked for a nonprofit when I was a social worker, and we had mostly state grants, but we had a few federal. But we would get these budgets, and so my goal is to find permanent housing for chronically, homeless people, literally living on the street, folks. And so we would get, this money. Well, it was divided up into these sections, and we would get this large, budget for office supplies and stuff. I didn't need any office supplies, I had my phone. I was out on doing street outreach all the time. So I really, I didn't care.
Nope. But if you don't,
give me $200 because I did love and I still do love my Post-it notes. But give me like, $200 in those and, like 2 pens and I am good. Like I'm good for the year. No.
But if you
I had
don't,
to spend it and I
if
had
you don't
to
take it, you
spend
lose it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And I was always like, well, why can't we just roll it over so that I can like pay, more rent? Oh no, we couldn't possibly. You
Nope, you
need
gotta
those
spend it.
supplies that you don't need.
So the
Yeah.
best example
Yeah.
is Oscar explaining that to Michael on The Office. And in The Office, he explains, so pretend your parents give you $10 to run a lemonade stand, and you successfully run that lemonade stand with $8. What are you going to do? Are you going to go and tell your parents that it only cost $8 and they're going to take back the 2, or are you going to pocket the 2 and told them it cost 10? You're going to pocket the 2. So essentially that's what the government does with all of our tax money.
Yes.
Gotta love it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I paid for that UFO, so I might as well be able to fucking fly it.
So we talked about the upcoming. We talked about the jellyfish.
I want to know more about the underwater.
That's
the
yeah,
USOs.
so that's what I
Yeah.
think I was
I
going
gotta
to
get my dad on here so he can tell his story,
Mhm.
like on a side quest.
Me and Josh have slowly, like, I feel like we've been building this theory, like, in the background, and one day we'll like really go all in on it. But yeah, I have a huge suspicion that way more of this stuff is terrestrial, inner ocean,
Oh yeah.
not from outer
Space.
space.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of outer space, sorry to cut off the USO talk, but Congress had that secret emergency meeting after the James Webb Telescope found something coming towards us.
Which,
But like the thing that like is coming towards us is like slowing down, then speeding up, then slowing down, and then it changes its trajectory, but then still comes towards us.
Well, that sounds fun.
okay. I don't think I try to listen to like the actual like scientists when that stuff they talk about that stuff, and their problem again, this is scientists because scientists need their data, is just the lack of data that they got from it. And like, they're really just like, we don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely like weird enough to like
something.
Get Congress to have an emergency meeting about it.
Yeah, and I think again, like Jen said, if you keep lying to us, we're gonna keep filling this shit in with crazy fucking things. Like
Until an alien spaceship comes and lands, it's just like, oh well, you guys had till 2027 to figure this out.
Yeah,
and I think a part of that, why they don't do it, obviously, is the stigma that creates. Because of course, with no official backing, when you walk into a room and you're like, "Hey, did you see that they found a ship on the moon?" People look at you like you're fucking crazy. But like, if you go on Reddit, I can find 100 threads of like magnified telescope pictures of an oblong shape on the moon that doesn't really make sense there. So what is it? Just fucking tell me what it is.
It's a smudge on the lens.
And I won't have to say it's a ship. Like, what's the black satellite? What's the Black Knight satellite?
Yeah, just this fucking thing that's been orbiting Earth forever.
Since we can imagine, like, fucking Galileo and them fucking saw this thing. Like, what?
Yeah. Nobody knows what it
like,
is.
I get so mad
at the blatant disrespect of the lies.
It's just like, all right, if you don't fucking know, just say that. Like, you guys don't know a lot. Like,
yeah,
I can ask you a question and you'll say you don't know, but this one, like, you insist that it's just like nothing. Like, look away.
Yeah.
So transparency is like number one. Like, we just need them to stop the bullshit.
I feel like they're going to have to throw out a bone of some sort because
some sort of credible picture, something.
The denying at this point, it's like otherwise you're saying that some of these high-ranking people that you've trusted with top clearances in our military are just cuckoo and have no idea. They're just making stuff up.
they're willing to do it. They'll just write it off as PTSD. They tried to do it to Grush.
And Grush is like, nah,
Yeah, he's
not
like,
me,
I've been
girlfriend.
evaluated, I checked. Like, yeah, I have PTSD, but I'm not like seeing things and imagining shit.
Yeah, and he
And-
still has his
Yeah.
clearance.
The other thing about that kind of frustrates me is that, like, I know people that have PTSD, right?
Mhm.
Some of it's severe and some of it's very mild, and you would never know that that person suffers from it, right?
Mhm.
But none of them go out of their way to make it their defining characteristic.
Yeah, no.
Right.
So, like, ex-military guy who is suffering, keyword suffering, from PTSD is not going to go put his PTSD on blast for everyone to pick apart, ridicule,
No.
and come after.
No. Yeah,
Like,
no, absolutely.
It just doesn't make sense.
And well, it defies the nature of the illness itself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just it's not
And
possible.
it screams like, so you're going to tell me that you'll let a crazy man on the street just say whatever he wants, right? Oh, crazy man on the street, let's say, like Joe Rogan. Like, he can say whatever he wants. No one says anything to him. But then, like, a U.S. government high-ranking official with clearance comes out, and you're like, no, that guy's crazy.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah,
I'm on here, I'm on a
just-
podcast, I talk out of my ass. No one says anything to me. I'm not, like, no, they don't care. They'll let people say whatever the fuck they want until you're an important person saying something in front of other people.
It's because
Well,
they know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is. And that's and they're just re-victimizing people for no reason.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I
And
mean, I
scaring
think
them.
it's
You don't
it's well,
They won't move forward. They'll
yeah.
no one's moving forward.
very possibly with actual life and death. These people, coming forward, and that's and again that kind of thing. It just makes your mind go crazy with what is it? How bad is it? Are our
Mhm.
peace talks failing with the other world? I mean,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
just you
that
no,
is,
no idea.
that's it. It literally just, every question adds more questions. So yeah, are we doing a bad job at negotiations, or have we just lied so much that, like, it's such a reflex within the government that, like, telling the truth for them would scare them more, that they'd undermine their trustworthiness with with the public.
Mhm.
Like,
like they're-
are the lies that big and that long that, like, if they say them, people are going to be like, whoa, wait. So, like, all the shit we voted for, all the stuff we've been doing for the last however 70 years, all was under the guise of a lie.
Mhm.
People will be
But I don't
pissed.
know that but I don't know that people don't already kind of. I mean, you don't have to. I don't think people are crazy that when they don't trust the government. I mean, I think most of your average citizen certainly knows that has had enough experience to know that
Yeah.
they're
And-
fumbling things all the time. I mean, we lose billions of dollars, in shortfalls that they can't account for all
Yeah,
the time.
the Pentagon has never passed an audit.
Yeah. How
And
is
they
that?
still
I
get
mean,
so much money.
that
So
alone,
crazy,
right
man.
there. And it goes back to like our taxes. If we make, to the $10, mark, they're gonna know and send you.
Right.
I had to do that one
Oh,
time. Like
they'll
I
get
owed
their
them like
money from you.
$13, and
I
I was
owe
like,
them money.
"Oh, give me
Not
a
paying
break."
them. Started my
But
business. I didn't know taxes, and now I'm
so,
catching up. Fucking
Mhm.
joke.
but at this
Oh.
point,
Taxes
I
are a
just feel
joke.
like you just say, you know what, hey, way back when we were first learning about this stuff, or whatever they want to make up, and just say, but now we value transparency more. We're in a different time, different era, blah blah blah. I don't think anybody's going to care that you lied in the '60s.
Right.
No, but I
because
think personally, my conspiratorial mind goes to, if they do that, and who was it?
You'd have to answer for like the JFK assassination.
Yeah, was
and
it?
a bunch of other shit?
I want to say
Yeah.
it might have been Reagan
which
who gave a speech, and he said, like, if we as a globe could come together and unify and understand that, like, we are not other from each other, we're other from something else,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like we become a really strong race, which I don't think the government wants. Like if they say
Oh, no.
all the stuff is lies, right?
Mm-hmm.
That gives a big table to eat off of for all of us, right? So now we're going to start sitting down with these people that we've had opposing views from for years and been like, wait, you were being lied to? Oh, I was being lied to too. We've just been lied to in different ways.
Right.
Like if
Just become best friends.
yeah, our
Yeah.
our democracy is a two-party system, let's be real. That is the same party.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not different people. They just lie to different groups of people differently. Like
Yeah.
it's insane for I think most
Absolutely.
Americans just play the game because we're little and what are you going to do? You're not going to, you're not going to go stand up on your soapbox and change the world. So you just you play the game. You pay your taxes, you vote. But I think deep down, like you were saying, everyone knows like it's a fucking show. This whole
Yeah.
thing is a
Yeah.
bad Monopoly game. And we just
But
are
yeah, I
stuck
mean,
playing.
that's why every nation is going to have a class system, of some sort. If it's, monarchy, or even if it just is the appearance of monarchy for UK friends and things at this point. But and here in America, we have huge disparity in haves and have-nots. No matter how people want to say that doesn't exist or whatever people try to say, it
Now,
absolutely exists,
Yeah.
it
and
exists, and I
it
think now
does.
it exists more in the actual
Yeah.
physical sense more than ever. Like there is a
Yes.
clear difference between the haves and the have-nots in just the physical things that they have. Like the rich person has everything you could want. Like things people don't need. Like I watched a
Yeah.
TikTok of someone go through their house, and it was one of these TikToker and it was like they had a game room, they had a movie theater, they had like lounge area with all like the crazy shit, and it's like there are people that literally are sleeping on the cement,
Mm-hmm.
like, and this person has like multiple game rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Or Elon Musk just giving away $1 million to people.
So let's
Right.
talk about this right now because I want to get this out of the way without getting super frustrated.
Yeah.
There is talks that the new president-elect will be the president to
Disclose.
Yeah,
I've been seeing that.
Yeah, he's
even
promised
our board.
the JFK. So I think there's a high probability, no matter how you feel about the man. He's so, and I'm not trying to. I don't know. He would be the one, I think, that
To
just
just say
wouldn't
it.
give a shit enough to do
Mhm.
it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and aliens are real. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Totally.
our boy Tim Burchett, representative from Tennessee, even said that he said he had talks with Trump, and he was like, yeah, he's thinking about disclosing, or like he's like in talks of trying to do it and stuff like that because he
Yeah.
knows.
And he says shit,
Yeah.
but again, like I was saying, if this stuff is really that advanced and we're talking interdimensional, the man knows nothing of what the fuck they're talking about there.
Right.
No.
So let's be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
with-
mean, even if he is the president that discloses, I mean, like,
Oh, I personally don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Just fucking tell us.
Just do
yeah,
it.
just tell
Yeah.
me because we
Um,
already know it's out there. Stop
Mhm.
lying to us.
I think
Okay.
so. On another episode I want to cover, I've told you guys, there's a person that channels an extraterrestrial. His name is Bashar. He came out with a prediction or a statement, let's say, before the election was done, right?
Hmm.
I was hoping to get to this before the election, but this episode's probably getting pushed way, way back now, so that's fine. His prediction was if the male wins, that we're like headed to a road of destruction and no disclosure. If female wins, we're headed down a road of disclosure and like tremendous growth for humanity.
Oh, well, we chose.
Yeah,
poorly.
exactly. So get ready, guys. But I don't know. Again, that kind of stuff, I'm heavily skeptical of. But I do want to do an episode on channeling and in particular Bashar.
Yeah,
So
I still want to do one on the 4chan leak because I
Yeah.
still think that like it's so many boxes have been checked off on that
Mhm.
already.
Well, this is what I was just saying earlier. Like we keep like we learn something that we have to like speculate over for years,
hmm
and then it kind of fades out of like the spotlight, and then all of a sudden, 10 years later, something comes up, and you're like, wait, so like this immaculate conception constellation.
You know how many times I said that in my head as I was
I know,
reading
right?
it?
It's hard. Basically confirms the Wilson Davis memo.
Davis memos, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Like,
I think they're going to talk about those at the hearing too.
I hope so. I mean, it's all connected and it's all coming out. And I would really hate if they really piecemealed this thing out to us in a fashion that still keeps us in the dark. Because I think they'll be
I think they
capable. They are. That's what they're doing now. But I think even with this big reveal, they'd be able to give enough. Because again, the problem is they have to just give enough to the reporters and Congress, and I don't think they have the same hunger that like the average crazy nut like I do has. Like no, we're not done here. It's 3:00 in the morning. You haven't answered one question. Like I'm handcuffed to this man now, and we're not leaving until we get some fucking answers. So they
What
just have to appease the
deadline-
reporters.
What deadline? Because there were some things that were supposed to be submitted from the last hearing.
Yeah, from the
to
UAP,
Congress.
DA, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
What
I don't.
deadline were they given to?
Not sure.
So, like,
I think it was
I didn't know-
October. They had
Yeah,
like some date in
Okay.
October.
I didn't know if any
think,
of that would be
and
Well, I
they
hope it
didn't
is.
do
would be
and they just kept
revisited
pushing
tomorrow
it back. Yeah.
or Wednesday.
They
Oh, surely not. Pushing it
Yeah.
back.
I feel like we should know what to expect on Wednesday, but I still at the same time I have no idea what to expect on Wednesday.
I'm gonna watch it though for sure.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I don't
This
think
will
I'm
be
not
out
gonna be able to
before
watch it
Wednesday,
live
right?
like I did the Grudge one, but I'm still gonna watch it.
What'd you say, John?
This will be out before then, right? Before Wednesday.
Yeah, this gets nothing. This goes
Yeah,
out
I didn't
raw.
think so. So just remind me and anybody that's watching what time and what back channel if we want to watch it
I don't
live.
exactly know the time, but it's
Oh, shit.
Wednesday
Hmm.
the 13th. It'll be on C-SPAN and all that stuff. I'm sure it'll just be on all day. So I like personally, if you want a little bit more of a
It's at
non-biased
11:30 a.m.
11:30. Okay,
Eastern, I assume.
or
Yeah,
no
yeah.
Central, right? Mountain.
Oh, is it? Oh, is
Yeah, it
it?
just says 11:30 a.m. and that's on the oversight.house.gov.
Oh, so I don't know what they use, but
Oh,
Okay.
Eastern time.
Eastern time. Okay.
11:30 a.m. Eastern.
Well, I guess because they're in Washington.
That would make the most sense.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, are they in that bunker in Kansas?
Probably.
Or the silo I meant? A bunker.
I was saying if you want a suggestion for where to watch it, YouTube has all the
Mhm.
networks you can watch it on usually.
Mhm.
But News Nation, I find, tends to be the least or the most bipartisan. They
Yeah.
don't lean to any side in particular. Usually, just common sense.
Yeah, I like News Nation. It's kind of like a happy gray line medium.
Yeah, as far as you're going with mainstream media, it's as
News
I
Nation.
guess clean as you
Ross.
can get it, or
Full art.
Reuters, or
Mm. No Daily Mail.
no, what's the one?
MSNBC.
The War Report. What's that one? This is I got
I just News Nation it.
fucking memory. It's a movie too. I don't know. Capone Noriega. It's apparently also an album.
Jesus.
Hey man, Capone Noriega. They were the shit back in the day.
Well, that's all I got on UFO.
Yeah,
shit.
I was gonna say as far as like news, that's really it. Again, I think the emphasis on this hearing is transparency. the broader ramifications of what this is going to mean for the public, government accountability, dare I say. I would love for some clarification on national security. Like, they say that and it kind of puts the boogeyman in your head. Makes you think like we are at threat from these things, when I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
Yeah, or it's just a catch-all cover, covers all the bases.
Yeah.
What we can't say without jeopardizing national security. It's like,
National security.
okay.
Yeah, it's your safety blanket statement.
Which
It's
some
like,
of it,
okay, yeah.
I mean, I get like some of it, like some of like like the radar images and stuff like that. You have to blur out some information on some of these like scopes and stuff like that. But like ultimately, just show me the shit. Show me the fucking UFO.
It should be super fucking easy with apparently all the pictures they have of these things. We touched a little bit about the USOs. We definitely will do like a investigation, let's say, into that stuff, because I have a few theories on like where, I have a few theories on like what, so that'll be fun to pick apart.
Yeah, I've got a couple of theories on that, and then I've got my dad's story. That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
because he was a first-hand witness for a USO, which was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
we gotta hear that.
If you are ex-military, former military, current military, and you have a story that you've seen a UAP or any kind of unidentified object, hit us up. Email us at SSOSpodcast@gmail.com. That goes for anyone who has a story about anything, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Anybody can see one except for Lee, because he wants it too bad.
I want it too bad. It's never gonna happen. And it's, like I told you guys earlier, like we've been in a drought. It's been so clear here. Like I literally just open my door and go like this.
Come on, where are you?
Nope. I just go, you know what? I'm gonna go outside for another 20 minutes just to see. No. Nope.
As you turn your back, one speeds past.
Yes, I can see it.
Oh, you almost
He's
saw me.
gone. He's
Like
gone.
it's just a game.
It's just a game to play.
Fuck them. Yeah, so we'll definitely we'll do more of the USO stuff. We will be doing the Book of Enoch today, technically, when this comes out, because this is going to be out tomorrow when we're doing that.
There's so much
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a big one. So here's what my theory was on that. And if you're still listening, you'll find out if you listen to that episode too. But I think we just go.
Yeah.
And I'll pay attention to the clock. And if I feel like we got a lot left, I'll find a decent spot to cut us off. And we'll do it in a two-parter.
Yeah, because there's 5 books in his first book.
And again,
and I don't even get to all of the books.
It's got tentacles. It goes off and
Yeah.
touches everything. I think maybe what we could even do is we do this as like a preliminary thing, and then we could even go back and do like a parted series on Enoch and like really go into depth, because we're going to end up glossing over like all the Ethiopian stuff, and we're going to gloss over the fact that like the stuff in Enoch was written before the New Testament, but like not known by the people that wrote the New Testament, and has stuff in like it's crazy. So there's that.
But it's a cool story.
Yeah, it's a great story. Again, we're going to gloss over giants, and we have a whole episode on those, and we're going to go back to. I'm a busy
so
beaver,
many things
man.
to do.
Yeah, I got my hand in all the pots. All right. Other than that, you all have a wonderfully strange rest of your day, evening, or night, and we will see you on the main show.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the notifications.
Bing.
I hope you can make an animation of like just
Bing. Bing.
Yeah.
I'll try. That means I have to go in and like edit this whole thing, which is not going to happen. All right, so just an insight for all you listeners out there who think
Peek behind the
podcasting is like
Yeah.
all fun and we just get to sit here and bullshit about aliens all day. It is currently 9:10 Eastern Standard Time, and I have this to publish and get out, plus the whole episode from last week to edit and publish, technically by midnight. So I'm not sleeping tonight.
Please, if you're an editor, email
Yeah,
us
yeah,
at
and you just wanna work-
SSOSpodcast@gmail.com.
Honestly, I'm going to say this full all seriousness. If you are a listener and you have technical abilities and you are willing to kind of work in the background but potentially still be part of the show, let us know, because I'm interested in bringing you on so I don't have to do as much work. And it would just be nice. I think it would be nice to have like almost like an off-site producer kind of person to keep us on track. Okay, guys. I got work to do.
All right, yeah, I gotta put that in.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to join us as a guest, suggest a topic, or have a story you want us to share, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at SSOSpodcast@gmail.com. For more behind-the-scenes updates and exclusive insights about SSOS, make sure to follow us on social media. And don't miss out on the fun. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, thank you for listening to the Secret Society of Strangers podcast. This show is an independent production, researched and crafted by our passionate team. But we couldn't do it without all of you. We truly appreciate your support. Embrace the unknown, for not all secrets are meant to be kept. Farewell, strangers.